Today's video is going to be a little winged. I feel like these are always my best videos because, again, I suck at reading a script. So let's get into it. I feel like this one might sit a little wrong with some people, mostly because a lot of people who are very deep into religion, like Christianity, I don't really know much about other religions, but I know in Christianity, meditation and being curious and asking questions, at least from what I've learned in church, is a big no-no. I feel like that's a big problem, but it's not just Christians that this is an issue with. I believe that meditation is such an important part of life because it does so much for us. I mean, it does the obvious things like help with anxiety. It helps teach us to be calm and in the moment, because most of the time when you're meditating, you are just doing slow, deep breaths and focusing on clearing your mind, which is a great coping skill if you are somebody who has anger or depression, anxiety, any of those things that most of us seem to struggle with these days. And I think a big reason that most of us actually don't meditate, the reason most of us don't sit down and just breathe and take in the silence and just do nothing, because we're living in a culture of escapism. It is so normal in this society to just find something to distract ourselves with. I mean, one of the biggest things that all of us pretty much do is scroll on our phone, scroll through social media, and that is so time consuming. Like, you don't realize how much time has passed until you look at the clock and you're like, oh my god, like I've been scrolling through Instagram for 45 minutes. I didn't even realize how much time had gone by. You know how much you could do in 45 minutes, and all that time has just been wasted. And like, people may say like, why don't I sit down on my phone for that long? And that may be true, but what about all the little amounts of time that you're on your phone? 2 minutes here, 3 minutes there, 5 minutes there, all that adds up too. And it's like, we can't stand to be bored. We cannot stand to just be with our own thoughts and just have nothing going on. We can't stand to just not have anything distracting us, and that's so dangerous. And I feel like that is a big problem that's making suppressing trauma and suppressing our problems even easier, because we don't have to face it. All we have to do is get on TikTok, Instagram, or Netflix, just do something to distract ourselves. We don't even have to go out with friends anymore. We just have to look at our screen. And that escapism culture is seeping into how we raise children. It's seeping into school and education and fitness and all of these things that are really super important, but I'm getting kind of off track. So let's get back to what I was saying. So I'm gonna get into it by telling you my story and why I even wanted to talk about this. So back around 2017, I know it was winter time, it was close to December, I started meditating, and at first it wasn't really for any reason besides I just like running a hot bubble bath and lighting some candles and just relaxing. And I would just get in there, I would do some deep breathing and just relax, and it slowly started turning into sessions. That sounds really weird, but I'd actually look forward to it a lot, and I would try to find guided meditations to actually help me through this process, because I was getting to a point where I was doing a couple minutes of deep breathing and then I was like, okay, I'm bored, like I want to think of something, I need to be stimulated. Like, this was a lot, like 5 minutes of not thinking about anything, not hearing anything, not doing anything, just breathing was really hard. So yeah, I started doing guided meditations, and that led me down a rabbit hole. I started to eat different so that my meditations could be different, and I wasn't like changing my diet in a bad way. I went on a completely vegan diet, and I was actually like, I want to say raw vegan. There actually was a time where I did do that, but it was more of like a natural, you know, fruits and vegetables and grains. It wasn't like Morningstar chicken nuggets and meatless patties, anything like that. It was actual like pure food, which I feel like when people say, oh, I'm vegan, like sometimes it's still not healthy, but I was definitely eating a lot healthier, and my body felt so much lighter just because of that, and I was able to meditate so much easier. And I just noticed something in myself starting to shift. So I was like, okay, like I'm starting to really face some things about myself and about my past and things that I'm holding on to. So like, what can I do with this? How far can I change myself? How much can I improve myself? So I came up with this meditation, and I never made a guided meditation. I might actually do that because this was really helpful and I would love for it to help somebody else. But I just kind of came up with this technique where I would meditate and I would get in that zone, and people who meditate know exactly what I'm talking about. You feel like you're finally connected, you know? And when I would get to that point, I would imagine that I'm in like this white room. And I'm trying to describe it. Sorry, my cat's like crazy. It was almost like this like Alice in Wonderland kind of vibe. I didn't purposely like, I don't really care about Alice in Wonderland. It wasn't like any, I don't know how to describe it. Like it was just like this big white room and it had like this like supernatural feeling to it. Like it was just this huge room and it was just not like walls that are painted white. Like it was just white all around. I cannot describe it in words. Like sometimes you experience things and it's so hard to say in English. Like I feel like English does not have enough words sometimes to describe things, especially when it comes to spiritual experiences. But anyways, like in this room there would be one chair that I would sit in and then there was a chair across from me. And what would happen is I would imagine every person that I had ever been hurt by, any person that I had ever like even done wrong to, or they had done wrong to me, anybody that I ever had any incident with, big or small. And some of these people I had very big incidents with, like abuse category incidents. So I would imagine one by one these people would come in and they would sit in front of me and I would say like, hey, so and so, shake their hand, which was a really weird feeling to think about at first. And I would say, I forgive you for blank. And then I would just imagine how I would think they would react. And no matter what they said, no matter what they did, I would still give them my forgiveness and just like say, okay, like you're welcome to leave now, and have the next person come in. And it was really weird because like some of these people had done very, very bad things. I don't want this to be a triggering video because I really want people to feel welcomed here and I want them to be open to what I'm saying. But some of these people were very bad people, and just the thought of being able to face them and shake their hand and be like, you know, like I forgive you, made me feel so powerful. Even though it was just like an imaginary, that sounds a really weird way to put it. Like even though it was just like this meditation session that I was doing, like I just felt this power that I was given and I felt a lot lighter. Like I actually felt myself starting to forgive people in my regular life, and that really helped me let go of a lot of anger. And something that I realized during this time is we will have anger towards people because something they've done, and that anger turned into self-depreciating attitudes. Like we'll start to be angry towards ourselves, we'll start to take it out on ourselves, we'll start to treat ourselves badly and talk down on ourselves, and it's like, why? You know, it's because we're holding on to this anger and we don't know what to do with it, and a lot of times we don't even know where it's coming from because we're distracting ourselves. We're not facing ourselves because we can't stand to do it, and probably because most of us don't know how. So I don't want this to be too long of a video. Really what I want you guys to leave with is just sit down and be alone with your thoughts, even for just a couple minutes a day, because I promise you there's probably something that's trying to resurface that just needs you to work through it and heal. You are never going to feel content until you start working through things and start healing yourself. And nobody wants to get to the end of life and realize that they could have done all of these things and they could have achieved so much and been so free and happy if they'd only just put their phone down and face themselves. I mean, you don't have to delete social media or anything, but even just meditating for 10 minutes before bed or using your shower time to meditate, because I know some people are very, very busy, which again, I think is a culture norm that is very unhealthy. But just try to find those moments where if you're a mom, you stay-at-home mom like myself, children are sleeping, you know, nap time, everything's done, instead of turning on Netflix or calling a friend or getting on your phone or doing something that is distracting, just sit down, close your eyes and just breathe and see what comes up. You don't have to know how to meditate, and if you really want to meditate and you want help, there are so many videos on YouTube. So like I said, the main thing that I want you to take away from this is just, even if I just plant the seed and you don't do anything for a really long time, just be conscious about the fact that when you're distracting yourself, you're continuing to repress problems, and those things are going to continue to linger for as long as you don't face them. I wish everyone all the luck that they deserve, and I hope that this video actually helps you. Like I said, I would like to work on making some guided meditations, but I've only just started meditating again, and I want to make sure that I am in the best place possible before I start making guided meditations, because I want it to be pure and genuine, and I want it to be the best best quality possible. So yeah, that's something that I might be working on, so look out for that. If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe and share with your friends and family to help me grow my channel. It's much appreciated.